And now, broadcasting from the Ginger and Baker studio here in the heart of the Music District in beautiful Old Town Fort Collins, Colorado. It's Live at Lunch here on KRFC 88.9 FM, streaming live at krfcfm.org. I'm your host today, David V., and today's special musical guest is Ms. Nomer. Ms. Nomer here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Let's introduce the band today. Adam Petty on guitar, and Jacob Hafner on bass, and Jonah Green on drums. Got that right. All right. You guys formed you formed in Denver, but kind of from Fort Collins / Denver over the years. How long have you been together?
Well, Jonah and I have been playing music kind of since middle school, and we started with Jake in about 2018.
Yep.
And
June 2018.
yeah,
In a sweaty apartment, actually in Fort Collins.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Neighbors didn't care?
Didn't seem like it. They were all college
Jonah
kids.
was my neighbor.
We were actually neighbors. That's how we met. Yeah.
All right. That's good. Well, Adam, have you guys always been into kind of a fusion, jazz, funk, soul, a little bit of everything? Or did you start
Yeah.
out, I mean, I see some of your influences are Zeppelin, but then you go to George Benson and Tower of Power and Lettuce and Snarky Puppy, so...
oh yeah, it's all over the place. I mean, I think Jonah and my first gig was at the Lesher Talent Show, and we were playing classic rock. I think we did some Cream and Zeppelin, and that's kind of the realm we started in, then had a reggae band in high school, so it's been all over the map, I think.
A little bit. Were your parents real musical?
My dad is a piano player here, yeah, and my grandma played piano also, so...
Are they the ones that turned you on to the different genres and everything?
Yeah, my dad was big into like Southern rock and classic rock, so, and a lot of blues stuff.
Mm-hmm. But I'm hearing reggae, and then when I see Snarky Puppy and stuff like that, that's pretty much fusion, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it came in somewhere along the way. It's
Yeah.
all good stuff.
All right.
Yeah, I think our style is the result of kind of the three of us joining together and all of our influences kind of combining. And at that time, we were into a lot of different things. You were just fresh out of Berkeley, and I think probably had a lot of jazz and other fusion kind of influence over there. And I had just kind of was playing with Right Minded, a local band here, and transitioning out of that band, but then really wanted to play like the soul and
Yeah, and Right Mind is more of a rap /
like hip hop and
Jazz, hip-hop.
soul, kind of another kind of fusion, but hip hop focused. And then I just kind of, wanted to focus on more of the fusion part.
What about you, Jacob? Did you play a lot of fusion and stuff growing up, or?
No. I grew up in Central Texas. I actually grew up playing the drums and played the little guitar before I played the bass. Went to music school and played a little Western swing.
Yeah. Where'd you go to music school at?
I went for a year at McLennan Community College. Shout out. Love the people there. So I learned a lot. It was kind of like a crash course in kind of formal music theory. And then came out here, and, funk at the time was pretty big. So we kind of, it was like everybody was playing Wolfpack stuff in 2017. And
That can be heavy, though.
yeah, sure. But yeah, I mean, I think all the documentaries were coming out at that time about all these like classic, just session musicians in LA and Detroit, and got really into James Jamerson, the P bass. And
So you went to college down there in Texas. What brought you up to Fort Collins?
college again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
CSU?
finally not a student anymore. Yeah, I went to CSU.
Music?
I actually studied philosophy first.
Get a lot of jobs out of that.
Oh yeah, it's been great.
music and philosophy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all working out. Been able to play music throughout the whole thing. It's a strong influence for us. So.
And you'd mentioned Right Minded. Are the rest of you guys are playing in other bands in addition to this too, or is this your main concentration right now?
I've been playing in an Allman Brothers tribute called All Night Train, and that's kind of been my other main gig around this area. But
All Night Train. Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard of My Blue Sky around here in town too, doing those guys. But
yeah, those are good guys too.
yeah. So, were you doing the Dickie Betts stuff?
Yeah, Dickie and Dwayne and Derek, Warren, all that stuff. So
All right, excellent.
yeah.
How about you guys?
I play a bit with Graham Good,
and the
Painters.
Painters,
And all three of us kind of play with our buddy Nolan in Denver, who kind of runs this conglomerate, which is a bunch of musicians, and we all kind of act as each other's bands. But that whole thing is called Caterpillar Effect Records, and so
Caterpillar Effect.
we
Okay.
do a lot of that in Denver as well. We also play with Adam's fiance, Carly Ann. She's really good, and we're the band for that sometimes. And
Is that how she's bills herself, Carly Ann?
Carly Ann,
Yeah.
Jake, you play with some people.
I've been playing with a buddy. He actually is a PhD student. He's an ornithologist here at CSU. He's got a pretty killer blues band called Swamp Candle, named after a bird. He can tell you the story better than I can. And then I just have some smaller sit-in projects up in Denver and a little solo project in the park that I play every other day. Yeah.
You guys you're running the whole gamut of genres here. No wonder you guys play the style that you do, huh? A little bit of mash of fusion of genres there. Well, that was Henrietta and Hudson, which of course we know where you got the name Hudson here, a mutual friend's son. And Henrietta, what's that song all about?
I don't know.
I just came up with.
Yeah.
My family's from Henrietta, Texas.
Ah, okay.
I didn't know that.
And I came up with that. Well, we had a little farm out there for a while.
Just a little farm in Texas, huh?
It wasn't very big, just some cattle.
I thought everything was big in Texas.
I was going to say, even little is big in Texas. Okay, you guys are going to do Automation. Is this off the first EP, Tau Tunu?
So yeah, no, nothing we're doing today is actually off the first album.
Is this all new?
Except that maybe the last song is kind of a different version of one of the album
DTF?
songs.
Okay.
Yeah, Downtown Funk is what that stands for.
So are you guys working on a brand new album?
I think today, right?
Yeah?
Right
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's out.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, you heard it here first on KRC's Live at Lunch. Here we go with Ms. Nomer. Ms. Nomer here on KRC's Live at Lunch. You guys love those abrupt endings, don't you?
Song's over.
Cut it hard.
All right. Do you have any upcoming shows here in Front Range at all in the next month or two?
The next thing we're looking forward to is Elizabeth Hotel Music Experience on December 9th. So
December
the
6th. I think it's Tuesday the 6th. If I don't have a calendar in front of me, I think that's what it is. But yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Cool. listen part of that, and you'll be in the upstairs jazz lounge, and that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great day of music here for KRFC and for the city of Fort Collins at the Elizabeth Hotel. What are you guys listening to these days as far as new artists that are influencing what you're playing?
I've honestly been listening to a lot of bluegrass stuff and a lot of like Billy Strings and old Tony Rice, Doc Watson, and kind of all over that genre. And I don't know how it's melding into this necessarily, but I just like to kind of keep my ear open for new sounds, and been digging into that stuff a lot and enjoying it. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, other than metal and classical, I think you guys are pretty much listening to everything, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
What about the other two guys here? What do
You go, because I don't know.
yeah, Jacob.
Yeah, I'm kind of dancing around some stuff right now. I could say for most of us, at least for me and Adam, I don't know how much you listen to this record, but the Pino Palladino Blake Mills record, Notes and Attachments, that's been in my, it's kind of been the circle or the gravitational force for my listening for a while. Yeah, so I guess just some jazz stuff like that, kind of newer. I really am appreciating people that are recording at home and can kind of have some creativity with their recording process and do some interesting things. So yeah, I think I like DJ Harrison a lot too. I've been listening to him recently. So.
Jonah, what are you listening to?
I've been pretty into like the UK kind of jazz fusion scene. There's a lot of really awesome artists over there. Like Yusef Days is an incredible drummer I've been listening to a lot. Tom Mish, incredible guitar player. Jordan Rakai. Yeah, a lot of. It's kind of, they play a lot together. French Kiwi Juice is another one, but
French Kiwi Juice.
yeah,
Great title.
A lot of cool, like
Name.
really live looping and just really cool bluesy, jazzy, just real nice groove, kind of hip hoppy too. They pull in some rappers and stuff here and there. So,
Speaking of looping, I know you're not doing a lot of it today, obviously, but do you also play with a keyboard player who couldn't be with us today? Who is that?
Yeah, that's Daniel Thompson, who also plays with Jonah and Graham Good a lot. And he's a recent addition to the band, but it's been a really good addition. So, great guy, really fun to work with.
Bringing a new dimension. Not that you guys need an additional
Just
dimension.
that extra layer can be really nice.
Another
Little
layer.
organ.
yeah,
And Dan can rip solos too,
Yeah.
so it's a fun thing to add.
it's like a lead. Both Adam and Dan can hold down the comping and the rhythm part while the other one solos, and it kind of holds everything together. It's real nice.
So you guys are working on a new one, it sounds like. You have a lot of new music out. Have you thought about a new title for the album yet?
I don't think we've gotten that far yet, but we need to.
Yeah, we do have like 9 or 10 songs. We have another album ready to go.
Yeah, there you go. Get it out, and then hopefully in December, nice
Yeah.
push for it.
Yeah.
It's true. We are trying to
Absolutely.
record before then, so.
There you go. Well, you're going to play a couple more for us here, Sophie and Strut. And
Those are abbreviations. That's Sophie Strut
Sophie Strut.
and
what's
Street Worm Strut.
Street Worm Strut?
We set out to make some strut tunes.
Struts. Our songs, since we don't have lyrics, the song names are very arbitrary and usually food related. Like our first album has a lot of food related titles, so there's really no logic to any of it. But
Well, I think these two, especially Street Worm, we were in a meters phase. I think all of us were listening to a lot of the meters at one point, and
Oh, yeah.
this one's not a direct rip, but close.
Yeah.
One section of it.
They absolutely have a lot of they're relating to struts. And speaking of your first album, Toi Tunu, that's things are on the up and up, right? Is what it stands for.
Yeah,
But it's
released
easier
in-
to just say the abbreviation. I guess easier for somebody except for me. But okay, well let's get into it. Let's hear Sophie and Sophie Strut and Street Worm Strut.
That's it. Sophie first? Yep.
Ms. Nomer here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. I was going to ask you guys about the name. How'd you come into the name there, Ms. Nomer?
We were bouncing around ideas for a few weeks when we first started and just had a group chat going with a bunch of random stuff flying around. And
I was actually sitting at the Alley Cat.
Yeah,
I
Jake
remember.
pitched the name. But,
Did you know somebody named Ms. Nomer?
We didn't. So Jake pitched the word misnomer with an I after the M.
Ah.
Like the normal spelling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the easy way to do it.
Yeah.
And then I said, let's make it complicated.
MS period.
Yeah,
No.
so that way we have something to explain every time.
Yeah.
I've been so thankful for that move at the end.
Right on the money.
It's been good because we'll like send out booking emails and people think that they're
a
getting
woman.
an email from someone's mom.
That's good. What's the best place for people to get information on the band as far as, upcoming bookings and where to obtain your music and things like that?
Probably Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Our handle is at ms__NOMER.
At Ms. Nomer.
Yeah.
All right. You guys, growing up in Fort Collins, I mean, obviously now Fort Collins has almost morphed into a mini, like Austin, Texas or whatever, as far as music activity. But when you're growing up, not that much was happening here in the music scene. So, and I know you ended up going to Berklee School of Music in Boston, for instance, Adam. Why don't you tell us what your musical journey, how you actually started getting into music, and what led you to major it in school?
Yeah, growing up kind of in a musical family, I was around it a lot, and like there's old videos of me when I'm just a toddler trying to bang on my dad's piano and dancing around underneath it while he would play, and he would bring home these VHS tapes. He would rent them, and it would be like Stevie Ray Vaughan or Eric Clapton, and we would watch these concerts together. And I just remember being so inspired, especially when I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan and just the sweat dripping off his face and those giant bends. And so I started playing piano, but got really interested in the idea of doing guitar, and my parents wanted me to start on acoustic, and I worked with someone local, Jan Dyer here, and she turned me on to Jesse Solomon and the Academy of Guitar, and that's when I started meeting a lot of other people my age playing music. Just kind of continued through middle school and high school. Jonah and I played together, and brought
So
it on
wasn't
into
like
college.
school band or anything like that? You just did it yourself?
Well, yeah, I did play in middle school a little bit. I played some trumpet, and haven't kept my embouchure up, but kind of stuck to strings. And I went out to Boston and kind of had the idea in mind the whole time that I'd come back and try to steal Jonah away and start a band. And yeah, we've been doing that ever since.
Well, Jonah, same for you. Growing up here in Fort Collins, what would you say your musical journey started as?
So both my brother and dad are phenomenal musicians. My dad plays guitar and mandolin and banjo. And
Wow.
My brother plays guitar, mandolin, banjo, and fiddle, and is just an amazing fiddle player.
You were in a group with them really young.
Yep. When I was so I started out piano in kindergarten as well, and wanted to play drums. And my parents were very supportive and got me a drum kit, I think, in first grade, and a really great teacher. And so been playing the drums since then, never stopped. And then, around kind of the second grade to fifth grade window, my dad and brother and I played in an Irish Celtic trio. We were actually on the Garrison Keillor show up at the
Wow.
Budweiser Event Center. Like their main act dropped out, and I think they were looking for local acts. And my dad just like sent them our CD, and they had us on the show. And so after that, we were like booked across Colorado at all these Irish Scottish
And you were like,
festivals.
13?
Younger, like 11 or 12. I remember I think I made like $1,000 that summer as like a fifth grader from
I'm rich.
playing those shows. I was rolling in it.
And you actually played live at lunch about that time too, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We played live at lunch, and so that kicked everything off. And
I'll have to say, as far as I know, you would have had to have been the youngest person ever to play live at lunch.
probably, and maybe the Garrison Keillor show too. I don't know.
Yeah.
He touched my hair. That was the first thing he did. He said, "Is this real?" I was like, this
Like
little
it's
kid. I was like,
plastic.
I don't know.
I hope so.
But yeah, and then hooked up with Adam in middle school, and then we played in a band called Stud Mushroom, kind of all the way through high
Stud
school.
Mushroom.
And
Nice.
we like headlined the Aggie and stuff, and we had a fun time doing that. And then Right Minded, and then now Nomer.
Well, Jacob, how about you?
I actually grew up playing the drums in church. I was in bands like with friends.
Did you have any gospel influences to your music, or is it just the way it was being in a band in church?
I
huh?
think so. Yeah, my dad's cousin. I'm not sure what that is to me. Second cousin. I'm not sure what that is. She actually played organ. She had an organ in her house. And I think kind of the big like Ray Charles fan.
Oh.
I inherited a few of her records. Played that. Couldn't really take the drums to college, so I picked up a guitar. I wanted to write songs too, so I kind of taught myself the guitar. And then I was just really wanting to get back playing with people. I was in a guitar ensemble at McLennan Community College, and Dick Gimble was the teacher. Dick Gimble is the son of the fiddle player that played with Bob Wills. So he kind of like a local legend in Waco.
Yeah.
And he played bass. He taught bass, and he said, we have a lot of good guitarists in the room. I was not a good guitarist, but he said,
How would you like to be a good bass player?
yeah, does anybody have any interest in bass? And my dad had a bass at the time. I should also mention my dad had a lot of instruments growing up, and my parents provided a lot of that for me. I picked up my dad's old, he had like a Fender P-Bass Lite in Fiesta Red. It was a weird bass.
That's a popular color.
Yeah. I started playing the bass, and then it was just like, it fit my background, and immediately I was just like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. So I started playing with people in Texas then, and moved out here and found these guys pretty quick. I lived above Jonah.
Yeah, I would like produce music, and he would like be upstairs learning
Playing
my bass
maybe with the
lines.
broom on
Yeah.
the ceiling, trying to go to
he's
bed.
playing along and like learning
I
all
wanna
my
play with this
songs.
guy.
All right, that's a great way to start a band. Get somebody practicing on your songs before you're even together.
That's true.
All right, so I want to say this title right. Cephalatot. That's the next tune.
Yeah.
You want to explain that one for us?
Pretty arbitrary. I think we named
Arbitrary
this,
name,
We named
huh?
this one in the kitchen out here before we
Oh,
stepped in
it
the
had no
studio.
name, so this is a brand new name today. All
This is a
right.
combination, kind of a two songs mashed together.
Oh, okay.
One is called Cephalatot, and the other one is called Tater Tot, and so we named the medley Cephalatot.
Medley. All right. Ms. Nomer here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. Ms. Nomer here on KRFC's Live at Lunch. I'd like to remind all our listeners and viewers that you can always go to our KRFC RadioVision page on YouTube. That's KRFC 88.9 FM RadioVision. And you can always see every week's artist that has done a session here at Live at Lunch. It's always good to subscribe, and then you get a notification each week who the artist will be that week. And it doesn't cost you anything. You can download it and become a member. All right. I'd also like to thank our sound crew today, Colton Boening and Dan Perez and Chrissy Pilley. Thanks for a great job on the audio today, as always.
Yes, thanks.
And Eric Delano and Jeremy Smith on the video. Very good job, as always, you guys. Thank you. Well, guys, we're down to about the last couple tunes here. We've got about, looks like about 15 minutes left. So is there anything you'd like to add that maybe we didn't touch base on today? Maybe you remember another show between here and December?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us on the show, and thanks to everybody involved making this happen. It's really a pleasure to be here.
All right.
But I don't think, I don't know. I'm
We're
good.
just,
You guys
we'll be
are-
recording. I think we're going to be busy in the next few months. That's probably why we haven't booked it in.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to the new album. We enjoyed the last one, that's for sure. And thank you guys for coming up from Denver and Fort Collins. It's always good to have natives who've been here, as there's so few of us around here, and so there you go. Well, you're going to lead us out with Funky Mayor and DTF. And Funky Mayor, is that directed at anybody, or?
the
mayor
funky
of Fort
mayor.
Collins. the bar down the street. Isn't there a mayor down the street?
Oh, yeah, we
it's
did.
just
I
down the
think
This
alley.
goes out to all the mayors.
Thank you for listening to Live at Lunch, and thank you to the Music District here in the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado. Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker studio. If you'd like to appear on Live at Lunch, email our music director, David Vacek, at david@krfcfm.org.